Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Alpo Simulation. So this episode is a bonus episode. I was not planning on doing anything about this, but I've been bombarded with requests on how to calibrate and do the warping and the blending of the screen with the 3 projectors using Elise. I did a 3 episode dividing part 1, part 2, part 3 about the setting up of the screen. But I know that I was not spending too much time in the Elise, and in the video I actually mentioned that the reason why I was not doing that is because there is a lot of information on YouTube and there is also the manual you can read, but it seems that a lot of you are struggling to understand how everything is done. So I'm gonna recalibrate mine from beginning and I'm gonna do a step-by-step. So I'm sorry if this video is a little bit long. Unfortunately the process is long, and once you start you cannot just interrupt. So make sure that you have a lot of patience, make sure that you have all the tools ready, and I'll tell you what you need, and make sure that you have plenty of time. Probably if it's your first time it's gonna take about between 4 to 5 hours, okay? I'll try to do my best step-by-step tutorial on Elise calibration. Let's go. Right, before we start, make sure that you set up everything as needed. First of all, the screen is already up, the projector already aligned. When you turn them on, they already cover the entire surface. Don't worry if the lights of the projector goes over the screen. That's the point of the calibration, everything else that we're gonna do together. You then need the main computer where everything is installed, the ProSim, the Elise and so forth, the flight simulator, everything, the main computer. And then you need also, for the calibration only, you need a laptop, a separate laptop. You can do a different computer, PC, if also desktop, but laptop is better because then you need to move around, so having a portable laptop is even better. You only need a laptop for the entire calibration. Once the calibration is done and you extract the files, you don't need a laptop anymore, okay? I'm gonna show you exactly how to install the program, what you need, and then we're gonna cover the rest. And one other things that you need is a laser, something like this one. And this is the reason of this is because there are certain measurements you need to take where if you try to do it without a laser, it's gonna be very difficult. I got frustrated when I was trying to do it with the tape measurement. So buy yourself a very good laser. Make sure that it's green light instead of red because you see much better, and make sure that the laser give you the horizontal and also the vertical line, because then you can cross and you can pinpoint where you need it to, and obviously the laser must be able to be surface leveled. You know, there is the little water here with the bubble, okay? They don't cost too much, but it's something that you need anyway in your house, also when you put picture frames, whatever. So I really strongly suggest this. Without this, I think you will struggle. I struggle. This saved my life, so try to purchase one. Let's go into step 1. For the first step, we need to take the measurement of the entire screen. So first of all, the height. So you just go from one point to the next. Okay, and just write down the height on a piece of paper so you don't forget. It's very important to write this because we were gonna use this measurement, these numbers at one point. So my height is 1.5 meters, so I'll write 150 centimeters. Done. The next one is to do the surface, the length, basically. Now, if this is 180 degrees screen that you have, all you need to do is to calculate the circumference and divide by 2, and you get the full length. Mine is 220 degrees, so you need to apply the mathematical formula for the arc. If you buy the screen before you put it, you can extend on a flat surface and you can take the length. Good. I didn't have the space to do this because this is very, very long. So I mounted and then I used the mathematical formula. So I'm gonna show you. All right, hopefully you can see very good. So basically what we know is that 360 degrees stands at 2 pi r as 220 degrees. Now, how do I know this 220? Basically, when you buy the screen, your supplier will tell you the field of view. It's called F of view. So it can be 220 degrees. There are some that are 270. There are some that 180. So you need to have this information beforehand. It stands at, so 220 degrees is at X. In this case, X will be the arc that we don't know what's measurement. Now, so basically the formula to find X is we have 200, so 2 pi r times 220 divide 360. So basically I'm using just a very fast calculator, so we do this together. So basically we got 220 divide 360. Hold on, 220 divide 360. Okay, so 0.61 times 2 pi r. So times 2, 1.2 times r. Basically is the radius, and I know that my radius is 2 meters. Now, how do I know that? Again, when you buy, they will give you the drawing, they will give you the, of course, if you know the diameter, divide by 2, but my radius is 2, so times 2 meter again, and then times pi, which is 3.14. You don't need to be very, very specific of that, so times 3.14. So I have about 7.675 meter, so I'm gonna make this 7.68. okay, again, you don't have to be exactly precise. Let's not be all engineering here. That's good. So 7.6 meters. So I know that the height is 150 centimeter, and this one is 768 meters. Okay, you can calculate in centimeter and everything, but for me meter is fine. Okay, so we got that one, we got the height, this, and obviously remember the radius is 2 meters. That's the first step. Now that we have the length and the height, we need to create ourselves a virtual grid. Okay, so imagine this is a big Excel spreadsheet and we need to create rows and columns. Now the manual, if you read the manual, it tells you that a good number will be divide everything in 6 columns, I think, and 6 rows and 22 columns. It didn't work for me, and I'll tell you why. The value that you're gonna choose, how many you're gonna choose in terms of rows and columns, depending how easy you wanna do the job for yourself. It doesn't mean that 6 is better than 10 and so forth. Of course, you don't wanna have it too little, or you don't want to have it too many points. If you have too many points, the grid becomes too small and is too difficult. If you select 2 rows and 10 columns, it becomes too large, so it's not very precise. So you gotta find a way. Now, my way was to make myself the life easier. So I have 1.5 meter, which is 150 centimeters. So if I have 150 centimeters and I divide it by 10 row, it's 15 centimeter each, which is a very nice round number. So that's what I did. It depends on what your height is. For example, if your height is 2 meters, you want to divide also by 10, so you have 20 centimeters. So I divide mine by 10 row, and each row is 15 centimeters. So what you have to do, again, at this stage, don't need to be very, very precise, but as much as you can. So 15 centimeter, you start with the number 1, and then with a pencil, I already did mine, obviously, but with a pencil, you just take a note on the side. You take a note on the second one. I think I want to show you much better, sorry. So basically you find the spot, and then you take a note, and then next part you take a note, and so forth. So you should divide this into 10. And of course use the pencil because you don't want to make it too visible. This is the screen we're gonna project, so just the pencil. Now for this, remember mine was 7.68 meter. I divided by 24 column. Why? Because 7.68 meters divided by 24 centimeter, it comes a very round number, 32 centimeters. So this is difficult to do that. If you want to divide the entire screen by 24 columns, the difficulty is that if you use this, the normal meter, it starts very nice, but then this is curved, so it's gonna be very difficult. So what I have created myself, what is it? If I found it, should be, oh yeah, this. Ta-da! So this is the one that you use for to put the paper. I don't know what they're called in the binder. Okay, so I cut perfectly 32 centimeters, and so because this is bendable, right? Very easy, you can bend. So what I've done, I put this one in my things. My son is here. What's up? All done. We'll be back soon.
I didn't know you would.
Okay, sorry about that, the distraction of my son. So I cut this 32 centimeters. Now I put it, and what I did, I bent a little bit so it hold all the surface, and I did my first line. Then I put over here and I did my second one, and so forth. So if I want to show you exactly how I did, obviously you need to have a ladder or something, and it will be very good if somebody can help you. Sorry about the space, it's a little bit. So you start with on the corner where actually your projector screen starts, and then you hold it and you do the very first one, 32, and then you hold it, press, do the next one, you hold it, press, do the next one, then you carry on, you do all that, press the next one. This one works very well because when you hold from both sides, you gently press and it takes the shape of the screen. So you know that when you put the 32 centimeters, it's exactly 32 centimeters. It's more flexible than the meter, okay? So what did we do so far? We basically create a virtual grid. We divide the height in 10, divide by 10, and we divide the entire length by 24 column. So 15 centimeters row, distance row, 32 centimeters column, and that will give us an exact 1.5 meters and 7.68 meters of the entire projector screen. Next step. So I wrote down on a piece of paper the information I have for the column and the row. The next step, we are going to turn on the projector, and the reason of that is because we need to see the projector, where do they intersect. So the projector 1 will shine this area, will show all this area, project this area. Then we have projector 2 the center, projector 3 the other area. But you can understand that the projector 1 and 2, they will intersect in a certain spot, and the same between projector 2 and projector 3. And we need to understand the column, not the row, but the column where they're going to intersect. Because when we open the fly list, we need to give the information to a fly list. Where exactly projector 1, 2 connect each other, and where exactly the projector 2 and 3 connect each other. So let's turn on my projectors and see. Okay, I just turned off the light to show you a little bit better. So my projector a little bit weird the way I put it, and that's because of space. So the projector over there is shining all this from the beginning, and it goes very, very curved over there. But I don't care because it's gonna be covered by the central projector. And then this projector over here is gonna cover the rest until the end, okay? So what we need to understand is, as you can see, this is the center projector, which starts here. It goes straight, and then it finishes there, and it goes straight. Now, obviously, I have my logo, but you can choose any other logo to see better. I already done this many times, so I know exactly what I'm looking at. Okay, so all I need to do is to understand which column do we stop on the first projector and start the second, and the same for the other one. So if I take my my phone and I use my flashlight, so I can look for so this I don't know if you can see, it's very difficult, but I did a very, very minor things over there. So if you can see, it's over here. So that's the first column, and then carry on. I have another one there. Unfortunately, you cannot see on the camera. So basically, sorry guys, I don't know how, maybe you can see or not, but that's how you do it. So basically, that's the second column, and then we have a third one there, the fourth one there, the fifth one there. See, I use pencil, I can see very good. I think on the camera it's difficult to show the pencil, but so you count fifth, and then sixth, and then seven, and then eight. Now eight is there, and we are still not touching the second projector, and then we are into the ninth. So what it means is that the first projector goes from 1 to 9 or 0 to 9, depending how we're gonna look at, and then the second projector starts exactly where so this one, so that one start there. If you look at the line, it starts between 8 and 9. So we need to start at number 8. Okay. So the first projector goes all the way to 9. The second starts at number 8, and it goes all the way to here. And if I remember, the central projector stop at 15 or 16. I need to check my data. And then at the same one, 15 or 16, the third projector start until the end. I'm gonna make you a schematic to let you understand it, because I think I was not very clear in all this. Alright, let me describe to you exactly what I was trying to achieve there. So if we take this is looking from the top view, my 220 degrees field of view screen now. We divide it into 24 columns. So starting number 1, we went all the way to number 24. So the first projector, so this is the first projector, so we call it projector 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So the first projector is shining the lights from 1, starting number 1, all the way to the 9 here. How do I know that? It's because with the mobile phone and the flashlight, I was checking where I did the mark. And when I went to number 9, I stopped there, because then I saw that the first projector was not shining anymore, but the second started. Now in this case, my second projector also starts inside the same column. Okay, so if we look from the front of us, if this is part of the screen, So this is column 7. Sorry. So this is column 7. Then we have column 8. Then we have column 9. Then we have column 10, column 11, so forth. So I see that the first projector was until here pretty much. So between 8 and 9. So you calculate that as 9. The second projector, he also starts pretty much there. So they were connecting each other. And so again, you start at number 9 and carry on. So all I have, what I have is the first projector go from 1 to 9, and we write it down. So we write here, so first projector, second projector, and third projector. So the first one goes from column 1 to 9. Okay, then the second one, we know it starts number 9, and by looking again my flashlight, I notice that it goes up to 16. So it goes from second projector, it goes from 9 to 16, and third projector, it starts also existing, goes all the way to 24. It takes the final part. So we write here 16 to 24. So we now have all the information that we need. We got the radius, the row, the column. We know which section of the column first projector, second, third projector take. We have the full length, the height. We can now start with fly list and putting all this to calculate exactly what we need.
All right, so after you took all those measurements, we are now ready to look into the software. So the software is obviously Flylist. So if you go to the website, there are different software. The one that you really need is the Display Pro. There are different type that you can buy. Now if you buy, I think one of them include also the Calibration Pro, which is this one. Okay, so I purchased myself the Ultimate, which include the Immersive Calibration Pro, which is the one I'm showing you today as well. If you don't purchase the Ultimate, you don't have that. You can, I think, add as a standalone program or not, I don't know, but you can also have you can also do your calibration within the normal Display Pro, but it's not as specialized, let's say, as the one for the Calibration Pro. So remember, if you buy the Ultimate, it's already included. So let's suppose that you purchase the Ultimate one. Then let's just put this one. So what you will have is to, once you installed, I just want to show you something. You will have to open file location. You will have two folder actually. They are separated. So you will have Immersive Calibration Pro and Immersive Display Pro. At the moment, we don't have to worry about Display Pro. You don't have to do anything. This will be done after you finish calibration. So what you need is to enter the Calibration Pro, and the first thing you want to do is to go into Bonjour and install this software both at your main computer and your laptop. The main computer is the one where you have your simulator installed, your possibly ProSim if you have ProSim, all the graphic details, everything. That's your main. The laptop is the one that you're using only to calibrate, so it doesn't have to have anything installed apart from Bonjour. And another things the laptop needs to have also is to copy and paste the entire Calibration Pro folder. Okay, so that's what you need. First step, copy and paste this entire folder to your laptop. Then both on the laptop and the main computer, go into Bonjour and install this on both computers. This will allow the two computers to communicate each other during the calibration. Now, before we do anything else, there is something that you need to do. Let's see if no. Let's go. Make sure that your projector are on. And what you want to do is to go to your NVIDIA control panel. If you have ATI, I don't remember how it's used, but I have NVIDIA. Go to setup multiple display. First thing you want to know is that everything is ticked, which means that they're all gonna be used during the calibration, of course. So the way it works on my computer, I have two graphic cards, RTX 2080 Ti. They were at one point in slim mode, but I removed the slim mode because it was not working for this configuration. So here on one graphic card only, I have the desktop of my main PC, the one that you are actually seeing right now. The three projectors are actually installed, connected to the second graphic card. So I keep them separated. So this all green means that now the computer is now seeing all four display, and you can also see here they're all ticked. One thing that I do particularly is I make sure that they are consecutive in number. This is because when you actually have all of them connected together, you can move the mouse and your program from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Sometimes when you connect them, it doesn't give you this type of configuration, maybe give you 1 and then 3, 2 and 4. So you can put the display the way you want it, but the important is that they are like that. Remember that for calibration, we are only taking care of the 2, 3 and 4, the 3 projector. We are not care at all about, we don't care at all about the desktop PC. The desktop PC is only for us to control everything, but the calibration is all done on this 3. One thing you also want to check is to check the resolution. Now I have mine, my 2 at 60 Hz and the one in the middle at 30 Hz. I don't know why. I think it's some cable issue, but when I put the center projector to 60 Hz, it flicks her a little bit, and so it's not working. I even tried to 59 or 50 Hz, it doesn't work. 30 Hz is very stable. The other two 60 Hz, so now it's stable. Anyway, this refresh rate, to make sure that they should all, to be honest, they should all be the same. But for some reason I'm still trying to figure out why 60 Hz, so this one is giving me some problems. So that's for another episode. Okay, so make sure that it's all done. You can close this. Actually, no, sorry, don't close it. The next things you want to do, you need to use the surround for NVIDIA. Now this one only during the calibration, okay? After calibration, when you start the Immersive Display Pro and the warp and everything, you need to remove the surround. I seen a lot of people that actually they were saying I'm using NVIDIA surround and it's not working very well. You don't need NVIDIA surround on when you're doing when you're actually using the simulator. It's used only during the calibration. So go there, configure. Okay, so at the moment, don't worry about this. It should be 2, 3 and 4, but don't change it. The important is that you change it in the main display. This is something different. Just check 3 projector. Make sure that you only select the projector. Do not select the display of your PC. Select the resolution. Obviously, it calculates a top resolution together. And refresh rate, in this case, I'm gonna use 60 or 30 Hz, but 30 Hz should be okay. Then you do enable surround, and you just wait until it does its bit. And it should soon be completed. Okay, it's taking longer than usual. Okay. Right, okay. So it shows the disable surround, so it means that it's enabled, and so you can close this for the moment mean. And if you want to check, if you go to display setting, you can see how now the three projectors are into one big screen now. And if you do identified, it's showing that this main PC is number one, number two are the three projectors. Okay, so this is what you need to do to start the calibration. Now you can close this, you can close everything. The only things now to do, we can also close the control panel for now. So go back here, and for the main PC, you wanna open the client server. Okay, so double click on the client. So your main PC will be the client. That one just minimize straight away. You can reopen just to see what's locked. Then on your laptop, and I'm gonna show you later on your laptop, you go and instead the laptop, you will open the server. Something that you will notice at the moment, it says client not connected, because obviously the laptop, the server is not running. Once you run the server on the laptop, this one will move to connected. If you don't see that this is connected to your laptop, there are two things. Either you did not install the Bonjour on either the main or the laptop, because the Bonjour is needed to talk each other, or the other things that you did not put in surround mode, the three projector. Remember, you need to do that, otherwise it will not work very well. Now when you open this, let's make it bigger. When you open, it doesn't actually start like this. It comes as one big project. The reason why you see this already divided is because mine is already calibrated, and instead of starting from zero, it's a little bit difficult. So you see this, but I want to show you how actually will look like. So if you download the step-by-step guide, in this case I'm not using any webcam or camera, so this will be the one I'm using. I just want to show you what it will look like in the beginning when you open the client. Blah blah blah. By the way, you can read all these beautiful 53 pages if you have time. Okay, so this tells you the installation of Bonjour, no whatever. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So when you open the client, you only see this big. Okay, and after that you choose 3x1. So you right click on the display and it will show the configuration. You can choose 3x1, and basically what it does is that it's splitting the surround into 3 projectors. So the idea is that instead of already showing 3 projectors, you first put them together into big one using the NVIDIA surround, and then you with the software you create 3 within the big one projector. Okay, and once you create that one, then you will see what I see exactly over here. Okay, so double click, you can put 3x1 and so forth. Of course, if you have 4 projector, you will use 4x1, and you have up to 16 projectors, so that will be like a very big project. So that's all you need to do here. Install Bonjour, make sure that you put into Dolby into surround mode NVIDIA, and then make sure that you open the client. Once this is open, you can actually minimize, and you don't have to do anything else in this computer. You can now leave this computer, and the rest of the calibration will be done on the laptop. So let's move to the laptop. Okay, so we are on my laptop. So the first thing, sorry, the mouse is not working very good on this surface. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to my selection, the folder for Calibration Pro, which I copy and paste, and I'm gonna open now the server. Okay, so we're gonna do create new project. The very first time they're gonna show you tile or stacked. So what you wanna do is to
select tiles, and obviously select cylindrical. If you have different shape, you can change your shape, but usually the one that's most used is the cylindrical one. Don't get confused with the horseshoe. This is when you have like 270 of it more, but cylindrical will be the one for most of you. And then do map on projector. Map on camera if you're using a camera, but I'm not gonna cover that now. Do map on projector. And then you do create. Just wanna make sure that I'm recording, yes. Okay, so you can see here connected. One projector connected 0 1. Okay, so it's showing you the 3 projectors. So that tells me that I did correctly, everything is fine. So what I need to do, this one you don't do anything, you just select 3 times 1, and then for each obviously you have your for each projector you have your resolution, so make sure that you select the correct resolution. For me is 3000. Need to find that is so is 3840 times, I believe is this one, yeah. Sorry, just want to make sure that I did time ago and I don't remember anymore which one I choose, but by elimination is no SGX, no FGNS, no HD. So it must be this one, 4K, 3001. Oh, this one, accurate. Sorry, mine is Ultra HD 4K, 3840 times this one. Okay, so we select. It's already selected, but sometimes it doesn't select the correct one, so you want to make sure they correct select one. Then what we need to do is to this one is connected to projector 1. Now mine is probably already automatically correct, but what you do is to double click and select we want projector 1 on the first projector, and then it asks you, do you want to connect all the projector? What it does, if you say connect, automatically will connect projector 1 here, projector 2 here, and projector 3 here. Okay, and so that's done. And next step, screen. So remember all the information that we got before. This is where it's important. So I have my information in front of me. So we need to have the angle. Okay, so the angle will be, so the radius first of all is 2 meters. Now let me check that I correctly calculate everything before I do anything. Okay, so okay, yes. So what do we have here? The angle, this is basically the 220 degrees field of view. Okay, but it's split because what it does is take the center of the screen as a 0 point. So the middle part here will be the 0. So in order to have 200 degrees, we have negative 110 this way. We put this negative 110. And the other one, we have positive 110. This is how the software calculate everything, so just go with it. The radius is 2 meters. Now begin vertical, this is the height, okay, begin and end. Now the height was 1.5 meter, divide, so if we have this 0 and the total is 1.5 meters, we have 75 centimeter one way, 75 the other way, in order to give us 150 centimeters. So we do sorry, the opposite. Okay, and this is the, okay, sorry, the best way is to just write. So we got negative 75, and we got 0.75 positive. Okay. The x-axis, leave it tilt degrees, leave it 0, don't worry about that. Now the column, remember that I select my column in a certain way. So the column will be this. See, at the moment is calculating. I think I can zoom in to show you a little bit more. So as you can see, it changed, it makes divide by 10. And when it comes to the row, he also have 10, so you have 10 times 10. What we want to have is we need 10 row, but the column, if you remember, were 24. So I'm gonna increase, and check this out. For the row high, it give me 15 centimeter, exactly as I told you before, and for the column length, it give me 32 centimeters or 0.32 meters, exactly as I said before. So when you check your column and row, make sure that you end up with a round number, because if you have to divide each column, for example, 0.317, it's very difficult. So makes your life easier. Aspect ratio, don't worry about that. This is if you want to see this in bigger things, but this is what now we create a 3D of our screen. Okay, so this is a good time to save. So save as project. And what I usually do, I go into project, and I like to save by the dates of when I'm doing this, so I know which one is the latest one. So today is 26 February, the time I'm doing this video, so 26 February 2022. So I know that that will be the last one, and I just save as a project. Now let's carry on. We go into view. View, we start with view 1. Okay, you can select view 1 with you. Now this is where we were trying to understand where does the first projector finish and start, when does the second does, and when does the third one as well. So this is where all come to finalize everything. So if you remember, according to my paper I have here in front of me, the first projector was from 1 to 9. Just okay. So first projector was 1 to 9. So that means that I'm gonna show you like very nice. Sorry. So we started beginning column 1, and we go up to column 9. See, you can see the color, and then the row is starting number 1, which is here, all the way to 10. So the row will never change, it goes all the way to 10. So this is for me what the first projector is gonna show. Okay, now let's do the second projector. Second projector, so you click view 2. You know what, let's make this bigger. Okay, okay. So first projector, we got this. The second projector, view 2. View 2, if I remember from my paper, it begin at columns 1. Now remember the columns 1 is this one here. So that's where my first projector was starting. And again, you go with your flashlight and see where you tick the boxes. So if I remember, the first projector, the light was coming around here, so include column 1, and the first projector was starting around here, so it start from column 9. So begin at column 9. That's where we begin, and we say that goes from 9 to 16. So we just cover until we reach 16. Okay, so the number of column is 8, and then of course the row will be 10. View 3, it'll be easier. We start from 16 all the way to 24. So you can check, and the row is always 10. So what we are telling the software at the moment is that our lights go all around. If you see my projector, actually the lights is skew all the way here. It goes even on top here, it goes on the bottom. But what we're telling the software is we want to calibrate that the lights only shine in this area and the rest of the area. Nothing on top, nothing on the side, nothing on the bottom. So again, this one, if you want, you can save the project. And then we go to map. So far easy, right? Nothing to do it really. So this is where is the difficult part, because this is where you need to have the laser. So let me show you. The first of all, what we want to do is go to black or projector. This means is now turning off all the projector. You should be able to see on the camera also what's gonna happen. In fact, let me show you again on camera.
Alright, so you should be able to see on the camera now. Now, if you go on all projector and you make all projector, it's gonna turn off all the projector, it's gonna show you nothing. Now, if you go to view 1, it's gonna show some of the display directly from the software. Okay, so view 3, view 1, view 2, and that's what we are gonna select. Now, what you want to do is that in order to make easier for you, you want V1 to be this side, view 2 the center, and V3 on the next one. It doesn't work. It works also on the opposite, but for easy reference, I'm gonna change my display in such a way that this one will be V1, this V2, and this V3. So give a second until I select. So in order to select, we gotta go back to the projector and we gotta make sure that, so V1 so let's block for a second everything. Let's do the image. Okay guys, sorry, I took a little break. So the problem was that when I was going, what we want to have is that when we select the first projector, we start from 1 to 9, and then it goes from 10 to 16, 16 to 24. Mine were opposite, so the 1 was actually starting from here and so forth. So what I had to do is to go to the projector here and select different. So we have projector 1, 2, and 3. Now projector 1, I have to connect to 2, projector 2 to 3, and projector 3 to 1. It doesn't matter how they are correlated. The only things that you want to make sure is to, when you select view 1, you're gonna have from 1 to 9. When you select the view 2 in the center, so if I black everyone and I select view 1, you're gonna see from 1 to 9, and then the view 2 will be from 9 to 16, as you can see, and view 3 is 16 to 24. And that's what you want to have, because then it will be very easy to do the calibration. About the confusion here, it doesn't matter at this stage, because after you can always change your display if you want it, but I suggest that once it's calibrated, do not change anymore. This projector 1, 2 and 3 and so forth, it's only a value that's given to identify your projector, and it's very it's not always easier to make projector 1 is the visual 1, projector 2 visual 2, projector 3 is visual 3. It doesn't happen that way, at least depends on how you connect to your main PC. Also, when you disconnect to your PC, you turn it off and you turn it on, you may see that it's going to give you different values. So don't bother, don't waste too much time. The only thing that's important is to associate each of these to each of these in a way that when you open the map scan, it gives a sequential number for the view 1, view 2, view 3. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you actually on the camera how it's gonna look like. Okay, so this is what I was trying to tell you guys. I know that I'm spending a little bit of time here, but it's important. This is where we start, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's difficult here to see, but it goes from 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, then it starts this is where the first projector and the second connect each other, and so it will start from 9, 10. You can see here 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And again, this is where the new projector starts from 16, and then we go 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 until the end. Okay, the reason why you are seeing this completely mess here, very difficult to see, is because, as I told you, because of my space, the projector actually go all the way there. You wanna do in a way the projector only, if one projector finish there, the other projector you wanna start like that. So the manual say about 15%, no more than that. So the two are actually only one column. Mine goes like this crazy, but don't worry about it. What I had to do is to tell the software that I want to calculate from one way until there, and there I want the other projector, and from here the other projector. So I'm gonna tell the software that everything that you see here on the first projector, this area here, and the area of the third projector there, you're gonna cover that. I don't want that to be shown, and that's what you do in the software. Okay, a little bit trickier. This is more difficult than usual, you will see. Hopefully you don't have this problem like me, but it's gonna work out in the end. Okay, now that we have this is where we are gonna set up our laser. I just wanna show you something very important. You see some numbers. So the number 1 is actually, one is the column and one is the row, okay? So at the moment, the yellow correspond to the column. So it shows all this is column 1, all this is column 2, all this is column 3. The red number is showing the row 1, row 2, row 3, and so forth. Now, as you can see, we get the row 5, row 6, little bit of row 7, and the reason of that is because the lights goes all the way to the floor. So the software is taking everything and is dividing by 10 rows. What we are gonna try to do is that the software, actually my row 10 will be here, so row 9 will be there, row 8 will be there, and then 6 and 5 and so forth. So we're gonna shrink everything. We're gonna shrink there, shrink everything, to tell the software I only want to take from number 1 over there to number 10 row, and then from number 1 column to number 24 column. Only the screen. Everything else I want you to take care of it. Get rid of it, delete, and that's why a laser will be important. What we're gonna do about the laser, I'm gonna set up the laser, and I'm gonna, for example, I know where my number 1 point is because I took the 15 centimeter, and I'm gonna make the laser line according to the 15 centimeter. Then I'm gonna select my column, the first one, which is 32 centimeter, and I'm gonna make the vertical line the laser. where the laser intersect, let's suppose they intersect here, that's the virtual grid that I need to put on my display, and I need to tell the software that the point is there. So because I'm taking the first point, 15 centimeter and 32, so we are talking about first row and first column here. Then with the mouse, I'm gonna take this, which is the one that the software predicted to intersect, and move where my real intersection is. That's all we are trying to do. We are trying to tell the software that the intersection that is predicting is wrong. So we're gonna move where we think it should be. Then we do the number 2, number 3, and so forth. So you need to take at least 6 points. Once you take 6 points, you can calculate, let the software calculate, and the software will automatically adjust all the row and all the column to make it nice and beautiful. If you do less than 6 points, the software will tell you there's not enough. Don't go over 6 points. There's no point in taking 20,000 points. I noticed that the more points you get, it doesn't get more perfect, doesn't get much better prediction. No, 6 is the minimum. I usually take the point, the first one, and the number 10. I usually take the first point here, maybe the second one, then I take a couple more in the middle, and then I take the corner, the other corner. Then again from the bottom I take a couple in the middle, and that's it. So I take about between 8 and 10 points, and then I let them calculate, then everything else follow through. So let me show you how to do it. So before starting with the laser, we want to make our life easier again. So go back and black all the projector. This will turn off all the projector. Then go to view 1. It will turn on only the projector for the view 1, and it will keep the second and third off, so you can focus on the first grid. Okay. One thing that we don't want to make sure that we forget is to go here and select automap, off automap. Automap will allow you to select the 6 points and calculate automatically everything else. If you don't turn on this, it will allow you to calculate everything, because then after we're gonna do the perspective automap, and that's gonna calculate it for you. So we're gonna take the first point here, then probably this one here. Then we're trying as best as we can to take the other the other two corner, and then perhaps 2 points here, maybe this one and this one, and then this one and that one now. And as you can see, you can move as you want. What you see here is exactly what you will see on the screen now. Okay, so you're gonna select this one and also moved. Now, if you do a mistake, you can always revert back. You can click this and refresh. Okay, so try not to make a mistake, because you cannot go back by one step. It will go back to the things. Couple of commands that you need to know. So with a mouse or with a you just click on the first point. If you use Control arrow down, it will move very like kind of fast, but not as fast as the mouse. If you want to make a very small adjustment, use the Shift and arrow key. So as you can see, the Shift and arrow key will allow much better adjustment. So let's suppose that I wanna take to this point. Okay, this one to this point. So the first thing I'll do, Control arrow keys. I'll put it there, and then with the Shift arrow key, I'll make a small adjustment until I think I found the perfect things. Once you find the spot and you want to lock it, you press space. So when this one changed to a diamond shape, that means that the point has been locked, and that's the first point. Let's suppose the second point, we want this one, but this one is to be actually here. So what you can do is you move this one here, then Shift just to make it more perfect, and then you press space. Now I'm just making these points
just to show you how to move it. So the control you need to know is the control arrow key, shift arrow key, and then the space to lock point. Now let's reset. And this is the time where you take your laptop and then you go on the screen because you need to do this directly on the screen.
Okay, so follow me on this because it's very easy but difficult to show you. So at the moment I'm actually using my laptop. I'm gonna see my screen, but at the same time I'm gonna also see on the screen the difference. So at the moment I'm at the number 1 here. You can see a little bit of green just to show you how. So can you see the number 1? I'm moving. I'm actually using control control arrow keys. So what we're trying to do, the number 1, so the very top for the first projector needs to be exactly where the screen corner start. So this is my very first point I'm gonna select. So once you reach to the corner, then you can use the shift to make a little bit more adjustment. Now, the more precise you are when you do this point, the better it is. But I don't think a couple of millimeters makes much difference. So I think as long as you start to see the green and doesn't disappear, then you're okay. So I think that's my good point there. So I press space, and it becomes now the first point. So let's go to the second point. Now the second point, remember, it needs to this is the second point is what so this one here, the software predict that my row the first point of the row start there, but in reality my row is, and I'm gonna use my flashlight to see where it is. So I don't know if you can see, I don't think you can, but my point is there. Okay, so what I need to do is to move my point there. I'm gonna give a little bit of adjustment. Sorry if I'm in front of the camera. Just wanna see. So this is where maybe pencil is not the best one to choose, but I didn't wanna show on my area where it looks. So I think we are pretty much there, and I'm happy. We are pretty much there. So I'm gonna press space, and that's my second point. Now we want to take another point, and let's suppose we want to take, let me adjust the camera for you. So we're gonna try to, sorry about the shadow or anything, but let's suppose we want to take the point that correspond to our virtual grid between row and column. This is where you're gonna use your laser. So let's go and turn on the laser. Okay, so I wanna get, let's see if I can take, what's the best. So we got one there, one here. So can I make it taller? No. So the closest one I can take, because my laser doesn't get that high, I can get on the number 3. So I'm gonna make my laser a little bit down. Make sure they correspond to where. So what I'm trying to do is to connect, to check that my horizontal line. Sorry, just wanna see that you can see it's a little bit difficult. What I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna make sure that my horizontal line correspond to where I put my 0.15 centimeter. And I went a little bit higher, so okay. So right now, this corresponds to 1, 2, 3. So 3. So row number 3. Okay. So we are over here. As you can see, the row instead of here should be here. So row number 3 is there. Now, as a column, I'm gonna select the first one. So I'm gonna just move my laser to correspond to the correct column. And this is a time consuming, but using a laser, guys, is gonna make everything much easier. And I suggest you to have 2 people doing this. One can put the laser, one can move the button. So at the moment I'm exactly at the, just to be a little bit more precise. Okay, so we got the vertical is on the column 1, and this one is on the horizontal row 3. Just a little bit adjustment. Okay. So this is where everything makes sense. Make sure the laser doesn't move. Sorry. Okay, so what we are seeing here is that according to my virtual grid, row 3 column 1 intersect at this point. According to the software, the row 3 column 1 intersect over here, and I'm gonna select that point so you can see. So can you see the purple line? Yeah. So according to my software, it's telling me that the column 3 row 3 column 1 is right there, but in reality I need to move it all the way where my intersection here. So that's what we're gonna do. Control arrow key. We're basically telling the software what your prediction is wrong. I want you to follow my prediction. So this is where you also want to make sure that, sorry if I go between the camera, but I want to make sure that it's exactly perfect. So this is where I use, you get closer, then you can use the shift. Sorry, I just noticed that it moved a little bit. When I did this, of course, my simulator was all the way out, so I have all the space. But at the moment, I'm a little bit out of space, and also I'm doing this for you guys. My screen was already calibrated, but I think I'm happy to do also another calibration just to make it more perfect. Just want to be a little bit higher. Okay. Now without moving camera or anything else, really precise. I mean, this is where the patience play a big role into this, you know. Okay, so remember my point was there, so I'm selecting, making sure that just sorry, let me check. Yeah, so making sure that the point correspond to mine, and then space. Okay, so now once you create space, that's another point. So you carry on in doing this until you get at least 6 points. I suggest you to take the couple of initial here, obviously the corner, couple in the middle, down, and so top and bottom, and towards the end. So I'm gonna show you how to do that, and then I'm gonna show you what's the next step. Okay, so I'm gonna take the next point. The next point is still row 3. So all I have to do is, once you get the row, I suggest you to continue and get the same points. You just need to change the column. So all you need to do is to move the laser further away. Also check that sometimes even the vibration of the pavement, for example the floor, makes the laser jiggle a little bit, so make sure that you are stable, you don't walk too much when you're doing it. It's very precise, so that's why my frustration was I was trying to do this using a meter. You can understand how a laser helps. So the moment I am on row 3, and I'm gonna count the columns. So column 1, 2, 3, 4. So the intersection is 3, 4. So again, I take my laptop, I'm gonna select 3 and 4. You can actually see on the screen now, you can see you select 3 and 4, and I'm gonna move it all the way. So in fact, let me move the camera so you can see much better how exactly the diversion is. Okay, so hopefully you can see much better now. So I need to get, so my 3, 4 is this one here, but you can see where my software predicted should be. So I'm gonna move all that all the way to the intersection point. And this is where it looks like it's getting messy and everything, but don't worry, that's the point of creating yourself a virtual grid. It's gonna make sense once you get the 6 points and you let the software calculate it. So I select that space and it changed. Can you see how clicking space change or not? So once you lock it, if you want to make an adjustment, you click space again and it's gonna unlock it. Okay, but make sure that once you want to move to the next point that you lock it, otherwise that's not gonna be take as a point from the software. So far I took 1, 2, 3, 4 points. I'm gonna take another 4, 5, and then I'll see you later, guys. Okay guys, I'm just using the camera to show you the difference. So we select more than 6 points. At the moment, what you see here is obviously it doesn't look very nice, and actually the same one is replicated on the screen. So look the mess. It looks very messy, right? That's because our virtual grid did not correspond to the one that the software was telling us. But the important is that we follow our virtual grid because we know the dimension of this. The software only predict, but take in consideration also the rest down. It doesn't take in consideration this. So now look at what happened, how this is gonna be all looking good once we push the button. So remember before starting this, that this little point here, the auto map needs to be on. And so what you need to do is to just auto map perspective and click the button. So once I do that, check this out. You see? So it tells me here on the software there was a screen that says all good, and it create already the very first part of the software. Now just want to show you guys what we done here. First of all, automatically went from number 1 to number 10. Now you're not gonna see there is a shadow there, but you can see number 10, as you can see there, number 10. Also, it went from number 1 to number 9. Do you remember before the projector was like that? You can actually see the shadow there, the extra light. I told this software to stop here. This will be my endpoint to number 9, and that's what the software is doing it. So this is what you want to look at. You want to see that the lights are straight, the other lines for the columns are straight. You also want to make sure that if originally you say that the column were from 1 to 9, you actually have 9 column, and the beginning was from 1 to 10, and you have 10 rows. So 10 rows, 9 columns. So what we do now, we turn off this projector and we turn on the center one, and we do the same. So we go back to projector, flag, turn off all the projector, and now we turn on only number 2. Make sure that the auto map is on. Do not forget this, guys, this is very important. Okay, and now we are ready to take over. So the number, the center one is actually not bad. It seems it's already pretty much straight, but you still need to take the measurement. So I'm gonna take the measurement and recalculate it. So again, I'm gonna start from the corner there, the other corner. I take probably the 4 corners, so it's easier to tell the software the boundaries. Then maybe I'll take 2 there, 2 in the middle, 2 there, and then I'm happy with that. One thing before I continue. When we start the first projector, it was very easy because the first projector start on the corner there, and that's obviously we are 0, 0. Let's suppose the X and Y is 0, 0. So that's very easy to start. Now this one, the column 9, which is this one, it doesn't actually start here. It's probably starting around here, and it carry on over there. So I suggest you to leave the number 9 there and to start with column 10. In fact, just to be sure, I'm gonna take my, sorry about the non-professional video, but I'm not here to make professional video, I'm here to make, so yes, so as you can see, what is it? There you go. Can you see this mark? So that's the column 9 start. And that's where it finish. Okay? So that means that what I will do is that where the starting point there, so exactly where the mark here is, it should correspond to the corner between 9 and 10. So in simple words, if I take this away, if you want to start from the beginning, this corner of 9, of column 9, should actually correspond to where the pencil was, okay? Don't get confused that you're actually gonna move this there, because that is gonna screw up your things. Remember, you are starting this way. So 9 should be there. The next one will be 10 around here, so the corner should be there, and so forth, okay? So you do the same things. You take 6 points, you decide where to take the points, and then you click the button and do this one again. So let's see how it goes. Okay, I finished to put my points, and after I click the same button, the auto map configuration, this is how it creates my my section. Now you're gonna see here, particularly here, as you can see, is split, because what the software now understand is that the column 9 is start around here. So, but the projector is gonna start projecting here, because from here to here we have the other projector. So there will be an area here where the two projectors will connect together, and you're gonna see later on that there's an area where you need to play with the gamma contrast, because it is gonna be a little bit higher in contrast and brightness than the rest. You're gonna see two lines, and that's the difficulty in creating a seamless display. But anyway, this is what it creates. Again, what you want to see is perfection in terms of line, square. So each rectangular should have the same pretty much dimension. If you see one rectangular that is a little bit longer or skew or something like that, it probably means that one of the points around the area you confuse yourself, and you need to go back and redistribute the points. You can see also the one that I originally take as with the space bar. So I start with that one there, and then I take this one here. I remember one here, yeah, the same one here, and the same one there, and then I took a couple more towards the end. So I take this one, and so forth. So what I'm gonna do now is to, once again, we go and we go into on projector. I'm gonna turn off all of them, and I'm gonna turn on number 3. And number 3, it needs to be done now. So I'll show you later on. Alright, so number 3 is also been done. Now, interesting, so number 16 actually start pretty much there, but then when you look towards the end, you see it finished at 23, but we divide this into 24. And in fact, the 24, it goes around, sorry, if I just leave my laptop for a second. Alright, you need a lot of people to do this anyway. So when I divide into 24, it was like 23, and then 24 was around here. Now I didn't have the screen to reach there, but you still have to remember that 24 ends there. Don't believe the 24 will finish on here, only because I don't have I have the missing screen, but you go to 24. So when I was calculating the piece, for example, I took the 23, row 1, column 23, and I say the 23 doesn't start like that, but start here. And in fact, the 24 is start here, and it goes all the way here. So if I add like a screen here, you will see the 24 all the way there. But the software, once I calibrated, the software cut completely all the top, and it finished there. Don't know how to explain better than that, but that's how it looks like. Now, let's go and turn on all 3. So if we go here and we turn on the second one as well, and we turn on also the first. So basically now all projectors are on. This is what you should see at this stage. The line there, that's where the two projectors are actually connecting each other, and that's why it's brighter. And you can see also here the line is brighter. So what do we do at the moment? At the moment, before we do the next step in calculation, we need to adjust everything, because we were straightforwardly doing the number 3, number 2, number 1 separately. Now that we put them together, can you see how the two don't really combine each other?
So number 16 is not very visual. Now if you press, actually it moves, but this is not the point. The point is that you want to adjust the line so it's all straight up. This one as well is double. Now if you leave it like that, the next step is to actually auto calculate everything. So if you don't do anything, chances are that the software, once it auto calculate everything, will adjust itself. But I suggest you to do it manually first, just to have the extra time to do that, because it will become much better, trust me. If you reach this point, it's already almost dark here, a couple hours pass by. If you reach this point, you don't want to just carry on and do it. So look at this one, how bad it is. So I'm gonna set up the camera. I'm gonna show you what I do in order to put them together. So the idea here is to use again the control arrows or shift arrow. You take to one point, you can see the green one moving. So if I go there and I start, and I need to start moving, maybe using the control first. Did you see how I'm moving that? So you take one corner and you move it just to make a little bit better, and you go up and do the same, and then you go down. This is what you do on the first area. So you go here and you see, just to do it better. And then you also try on the left, try to make so this is where you need also a little bit of patience. You wanna adjust as better as you can. Now the way I do it is I'm focusing on the number. When the number is double vision, it gives the double vision effect, is not good. When the number becomes very clear, that's where I know that I get to the point where I'm pretty much happy. See the 16 there is getting much better now. You see the difference now. Look at the one below. Let's see if we can make this a little bit better. I think if I put this a little bit down with a shift, and this one a little bit, oops. Now remember that this is still the manual thing. Then after, the software will calculate your things. In the big scheme of things, when you actually fly, the whole scenery is so put together that you are not gonna see this imperfection. But then again, that's different with me. I like things to be perfect, especially when it comes to a project like this where you spent an entire 2 years working on, lots of money. You want to make sure that you get your perfection. Anyway, so that's the idea. You do it until and I don't know how to explain really. You will see once you do it with your hands. You will see how easy it is. You get to a point where you get what you think is acceptable, and then you move. So this is between projector 2 and 3, and then what you do, you basically you do the same from for the area there. Anything that's not connected very good, you go and adjust. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna spend pretty much 20 minutes, no more than that, and then we come back. 3, 2, 1. All right, everything has been done. 20 minutes passed by. I tried to adjust those lines as best as I could. Remember that when you move, actually, you also press space to select those areas where you were adjusting again, okay? So I forgot to mention before, but every time you move something and you want the software, when it calculates, to take a point of that, then obviously press space bar. If you move all those lines and you don't press the space bar, the software, it's like if you didn't do anything, it doesn't take in consideration. So make sure that when you move one corner and you think it's good, space bar, you move the next one, space bar, so you allocate all these for the software. So
let's go to the next point. It's gonna calculate everything together, and it's gonna show you what it looks like once it's done.
Okay, so let me show you what needs to be done. First of all, let's make this bigger. Okay, so we've done everything. Now the next things to do is to then calculate. When it calculates, automatically will select one of the images here, which is the test pattern. Now you can select any other image, but the first one will be the test pattern, and then I'll show you with the panorama what it looks like. Now I'm gonna turn off my camera so you can also see what will look like.
Okay, so once you've done that, let's calculate. It shows calculating alignment, takes a couple of seconds. Almost done. Okay, and it shows screen warping completed. Now let's see what the warping tell us. So let's take the camera and let's give it a try. So first of all, we are gonna see everything, all the rectangular are pretty much straight line. The first thing, check the color, make sure that the color looks good. Now in the area where the projector connects, you're gonna see a little bit of different color tonality, okay? And it's difficult, you probably can see it there. It's difficult to see because there is the light of the projector, but maybe we're gonna be able to see that. Yeah, you can see a little bit of that. We're gonna adjust that with the gamma correction and everything. What you wanna see is this line is important. You want to see that the line goes straight and there is no discontinuity. To me, that's the most important line. Why? Because when you go from one projector to the other one, if you see that the line goes like this or like that and it's like split, imagine when you put your spoon into a glass of water, you see that the spoon looks like cut in half. Yeah, if you see the type of effect, it means there's not been done good. You need to go back and redo a little bit of calibration. This one looks very good, and what it means is that when you actually see the software, it's gonna be a straight line. The color, you just want to see that the color give you a nice tonality. Test pattern shows that it's nice and focused. All the other one is just a couple of things to show you whether looks good or not. I mean, it's not gonna give you much information unless you know how to read it. This one is the shadow of my simulator. But remember, don't worry about that, because remember that you are gonna see this from the windows. So if you don't see that, you don't really care much. You can also see here, you see how the line actually is quite good. So looking at overall, I can definitely say that in terms of warping, it looks very good. Now, you can still, there is, on the software, there is a section called post warping, and basically will allow you to adjust slightly. By my view, you're gonna create more mess. Leave as it is, the software does it for you. I tried myself, I didn't see much difference, and actually I got to a point where I didn't know how to get back, so I was like, yeah, you know what, forget it. Now let me show you, if we change, if you go here, you can change in different, so the test grid, and basically it's just a test grid. Again, you want to see that the lines horizontal are straight, vertical are straight. The reason why some place you actually see a little bit wobbling, let me show you. This is actually a defect of the screen. I think it's around here. Yeah. The screen, when I installed, unfortunately, maybe during transportation, it creates some sort of deflection here. So it's very, very minor, but you can see if I click, you see it moves. And unfortunately, I was not able to adjust that. It's a little bit, the rest is fine, but this is a little bit, it goes straight and then wobble a little bit. That's why you see the line slightly, but when you put the simulator, you're not gonna see any difference. The rest is absolutely fine. And now let me show you I think the best one for all of you guys is the panorama. This is where you're gonna see, you know, you can use other one, but the panorama I think is the best one. You click there and check this out. So this is what, imagine you are flying and you're gonna see this. So a couple of things you see straight away. The first thing is that the first projector, because it's closer, the brightness is much higher than the sides. So I need to adjust that. That's projector things to do. The second one is that you see where the two projectors connect, you see slightly darker there. You can see the line. And you can actually see the line there. It's very difficult to see it, but you can see the line there also. There is a line. Now, I'll show you how to adjust the brightness, the contrast, but I try so many times, even the gamma correction. The thing is, and this is, I think, is a problem, the most difficult part of it, is that you can adjust and it looks perfect on the calibration, the warping. When you actually start the simulator, because the simulator has different shaders, has different type of tonality, what you correct here is actually not gonna replicate on the simulator. So it's very difficult to do it. Again, you can adjust. This actually looks perfect. I mean, I will be happy to leave as it is, but you will notice that when you turn on the simulator, this one will look much more, you know, you can visually see it. So it's a trial and error. Try to go and adjust, open a simulator and see the best you can. Okay. So the things I need to see here is that this is much brighter. So I need to either darker this or make this a little bit brighter in order to have the same tonality here. We can do this actually from this software as well. The three projectors actually have the same specs, they are the same projector and they're all at the same brightness. The problem is this projector is closer to the screen, so it gives me a better sharp image. This is a little bit further and the image is a little bit less sharp, and that's why you have this different tonality. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this projector and the other projector, and I'm gonna adjust the brightness to reach this one. I'll show you how to do it. But in a way, if you reach this is a good time where you can have a break. I'm gonna have a coffee, you guys can have a beer, and we'll see you here in 5 minutes. All right, so let's go to the next step. So you can see in front of you the calibration, the warping done. So the next step, you actually, what I'm doing, I'm following this. So we started the projector, we start the two screen, the view, then the map screen, and the edge blending. So the map screen, let's go back to the images and select panorama. It shows us the panorama, and then we go into the edge blending. Now this is where you can leave as it is, or you can play a little bit, and if you do some mistake, you can always hit this button to put to default. So for example, if I adjust again, look what happened. And this is, by the way, the edge blending, this is only taking consideration where the line that you see over there, the dark line. So it's try to adjust the best it can. So let's suppose that the gain, I change the gain. So did you see the difference if I increase the gain or I decrease it? So it's a little bit. So if I put it like that, which looks good, then the next point will be making it disappear. So see, the thing is, if you again, now let's go back. Yeah, the thing is the software is already does it for you, so there is not much in the game you can do. Let's see the slope. If I change the slope, this is quite funny. Again, it's not sure what am I doing now. I mean, this is probably some of you are better than me on this. I'm sure you can change something in the slope to make it more. See, like this looks ugly. You can see the difference. For some reason, it shows 2 points. The more I do, the more it disappears. So you tend to believe that if we do the slope like that, it should be the best one. And then the gamma again. So again, if I reset, what is the difference? Okay, so I see a little bit of dark there, so I think I need to the slope. If I put the slope all the way up, if I do the slope all the way up, actually, it's better, isn't it? It makes the things disappear. If I do the opposite, it make appear. So if I do the slope like that, and then so the slope all the way 10, the gain, I don't think the gain I need to do anything. I think show the white there, the black there. So I think the gain doesn't do anything. This one we select 10. And the gamma again, I'm not sure what. So it shows the black line there and becomes more white, more black. So I need to find a way where. So let's see, the usually is 2. So again we put this one, and this one we increase. So if we increase a little bit, no, it's too white. No. I mean, I think I leave everything except this one. I think this one will make a little bit better. But overall, I think that's the best you can do. Of course, you can change R. So the R, what does it do? It changes the, see the red, the green, blue. I mean, really, let's put everything. You don't want to mess up too much. Let's just leave RGB. I think the only one that looks good to me, if I put this one there, and yeah. So that's the one. Nothing else to do here. The next step is to go actually save. Make sure that you save the project. You go to color them. And here, this is where you don't want to do too much, otherwise you screw up too much. But you can see already there is some lines appearing, and that's because the projector 1 is connected. If you do projector 2, it shows the line of the projector 2 and projector 3. Now what you want to do here, it says it copy to other projector. What it means is that if you change anything here, you can just click the button and it will copy on the other projector, so you have the same symmetry in terms of contrast, saturation and brightness. However, what I need to do is that the projector 1 and projector 3 are a little bit more darker than the center one. So I'm trying to now, and again, it's based on your eyes, how calibrated your eyes are. I'm trying to change the projector 1 and 3 to be the same as projector 2. So projector 2 I'm not gonna touch. I'm gonna go to projector 1 and I'm gonna see if I just increase the brightness. Let's see. Do you see? Just to give an idea, when you increase, look how much bright you can do. Which shows the green very good, but everything else like the sunset disappear. Now if I go all the way down, it's too dark. Now again, if you wanna refresh, you just click here, reset grid, and should reset all the way to 097. By the way, so 130, that's how the other one are. So let's just say 130, 11, 130, 11, 131. Okay, so the original is 131 and 1 for come on, and 1 for the brightness. Oh, whatever. Let's see if I can find the same type of brightness. Now, have you noticed that when you try to reach the better brightness, you actually see the line in the middle is more marked? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna find a way to increase the brightness so the line is gonna disappear, and then what I'm gonna do after, I can actually go back to the edge blend and play a little bit with this. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes to see what I've done, and that's what you need to do. You play with the numbers, the contrast maybe. See, that's another one, the contrast is another one that can blend very good, and see, very dark. So I'm trying to reduce as much as I can. I wish there was something they could do automatically, but I wonder what this is. Reset contrast, saturation, brightness. That's the one that reset everything. Okay, so the reset is 111. So let's reset all of them. I think that's where the problem was. Let's reset all of them. Let's start. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit and come back with you guys and see how the result is. Right, guys, I think I found a little bit of compromise. So difference between the first part and the middle one, it looks the same. Now you are gonna see this demarcation there. There are still a couple of things that the software is gonna do. Is gonna calculate all the blending together, so hopefully that is gonna be less. But nevertheless, if that doesn't work, I'm gonna adjust that from any other type of graphic software, because remember that this is just a software. Then of course into your projector you have gamma, you have all those other tools that you can adjust as well, or else you can go into your display graphic card and you can adjust from that. So there is a lot of way that you can adjust. I think the color is the most difficult part, to be honest. It's not so much the blending and everything, but try to make sure that the tonality and the color throughout the screen is the same, and the most difficult thing is to get rid of the things there. So I'll try to do my best. Now I'm going to show you the next steps so we can continue, and we can finish at least to get the files as we go through. So once you finish the edge blend and the color, you go into perspective. And this is where you don't need to do anything there. You can now select, well, first of all, make sure that you leave this on, and what you don't need to change anything. You just want to make sure that all projector perspective is on, frustum is on. So you just click on find frustum. Okay, and then once that's done, you can calculate, and this is another calculation. Virtual camera warping completed. Now what you see there is the alignment. So the important is that at the center of the screen where the center of simulator is, you're gonna have 0. I'm a little bit running out of battery, but so you can see that the 0 is there, and that's exactly the center of my screen, horizontally and vertically, and that's exactly where you're gonna have the runway, and so you know that it's the center. If the 0 was showing here, for example, then you know that something is wrong. You gotta recalibrate everything. Now if I'm gonna change to tunnel, and this is what you're gonna see. Let me show you. So if I remove the camera, now the tunnel is a good way to see how the perspective is. So first of all, you're gonna see the lines all in one go. Not much different screen there in terms of tonality, but the important is that when you enter your simulator, you wanna make sure, sorry it's dark, you wanna make sure that the tunnel is exactly centered with the simulator. Okay, so you wanna, if I turn on a little bit of light over here on the simulator so you can see a little bit. So we have the center, and it's pretty much there. If it was not perfectly centered, then you need to adjust it. The idea is that imagine if this is your runway, and that's how you're gonna see it from a captain, and this is how you're gonna see it from the first officer, but center, the plane will be aligned with the runway, pretty much. Let me turn off this. So it's a lot of calculation, it's a lot of things to be done, but that's the idea. And obviously you want to make sure that it follows through, so there is no weird wiggly lines or something there, because if you find something weird, then you want to fix it now before it's too late. Okay, so we're almost towards the end, guys. Let's go to the next step. Okay, so we have selected the fulcrum. Now, as you can see, basically what it is doing is it calculates, this is your screen, and it's calculating the one projector this way, one projector the other way, the other projector is in the center here, so the center is basically here pretty much. Okay, not much to do. I mean, you can change, you can go back to the screen, you can go back to the cube to show you left, right, and front. You can select sphere, checker, so a lot of things you can do it, but in reality the tunnel to me works the best. We already calculate the perspective, save the project, don't forget to save once in a while. Okay, so the next things to do is to extract the file so we can finally play with the view groups and prepare 3D, because unfortunately we are gonna do a prepare 3D. Flight Simulator 2020 doesn't have the capability yet, so the last step is to do export. Now we are gonna select ProCalib warp and blend. That's always need to be selected.
Then you're going to select Prepare 3D or FS6. You can select Microsoft Flight Simulator or whatever. If you select that, it gives you some sort of fulcrum you can have but I don't know what to do with that because again is no need and then of course depending on what else you need you can create anything else. At the moment I only need the warp and blend and the files for Prepare 3D. So click here, copy to client. What it means is that when it creates the files, it's gonna create to this laptop here. But if you click this on, it's gonna send the files directly to the sorry, this is the server. It's gonna send it to the client, so you don't have to copy and paste using a USB stick. So export files. So a little bit of time until it completes. It's now creating all the everything that we've done is creating the files that we need to then give it to the flight list, display pro, and the view group for Prepare 3D. Usually it does take less time. I'm not sure why the extra time, to be honest. Is now copying the files to the clients, hopefully. Okay, calibration results saved. Okay, so that's done. Now, at this stage, we can close this laptop. We don't need this anymore. We can turn it off. We can move into the main computer. I'll see you there.
Okay, we're back to the main computer. This is where we left the last time we were doing some the calibration on the laptop and everything else. So first thing you can do is you can now close this one. You can now close completely. You don't need to this anymore because the calibration is done. We already exported the files. Go to back to your NVIDIA. So this is where you need to, oh look at that, there is a new folder I need to download. You don't need the surround mode anymore, and this is where I think a lot of people get confused. They think that they need to keep this on all the time. So just remove the surround. Calibration is done. You don't need this anymore. Disable surround. Yes. Again. The reason why my mouse is so big is for you guys to see, but also because when you go to the projector, the screen is so big that with the normal mouse I was struggling to see where the mouse was. So now I make this very big blue so you can track what is going on. Okay, so it's done. Okay, it shows that it's you can enable, so you can remove this. Just check. See, look at that, they changed the gain. For some reason they changed the gain, so if you want you can just move this one here and make it more clear. Else yes, solution is also did not change. So for some reason when you finish, when you go back from surround mode, it goes and changes. So I'm gonna put this 60 Hertz. This one I'm gonna put 30 Hertz because I told you that still flickering, so I need to figure out that one, but the other two are works. I think focusing now, I'm gonna do this video first, so that's good. So we can close, and just to make sure that you are actually not in surround mode, you can go to display setting. It should show you the all the through. Okay, beautiful. So main computer, second or first projector screen, second the center. So this will be like the center, this is the left view, and the third and the right view of the cockpit. So the cockpit is actually here in the middle, and you have these three. Okay, all right, so let's leave this because we need it again after. So when you go so going back here, you go to Immersive Calibration Pro. Remember that we export the client, and because we have Bonjour installed, automatically it exports also here. You go to export clients, you will see two files, Prepare 3D and Pro Calibre. Now let me open another one and I'll show you what we need to do. So first of all, in your C there is a folder, there should be a folder called Warp 000. This is created by Immersive Calibration Pro, and over there you need to go to config, and you need to basically copy and paste just these three. You don't need everything. I mean, you can copy in all these, but the only three that you are going to use is multi-projector 1, 2, and 3. The other two are used for a different type scenario, but at the moment this is all you need. I already copy and paste, so I'm not gonna do it again. Because the reason why you have to put into this folder is because when you open, I'll show you later, you need to, for projector 1 you need to give this file, for projector 2 this file, and this file as well. And if you give it to from a different folder, it does work, but it will ask you please take the files from this folder specifically. Now I don't know why, but it's so difficult, the entire process, that I want to follow exactly what they asked me to do. So that's what you do. When it comes to Prepare 3D, you have the sorry, it's empty because I already copied before the video, but you will have here a file which is the view group file, and I'm gonna show you here. So if you go to program data Locknet Martin Prepare 3D version 5, which is the last one that you have, the file that you have is this one here. So this one originally was here. What you need to do is to copy and paste into your program data Locknet Martin Prepare 3D version 5 folders. Before you copy and paste to the other view groups, try to do a backup. I always do that. I create a folder backup and I put the old view groups, just because if something goes bad, you can always put the current view groups and you can come back. The reason why you don't see here is because instead of copy and paste, I did the cut and paste, but that's what you need to do. So once you have Prepare 3D view group there, you don't need to do anything else. You can now open, in this case you don't open Calibration Pro, but you open Display Pro. But before doing that, you need to set up something in Prepare 3D. Okay, so before you open this, let's open Prepare 3D. Okay guys, we are in Prepare 3D, and when you first start Prepare 3D, it's only for the pre-preparation. Okay, so this is not yet communicated with Calibration Pro. When you finish all the calibration, do not open anything, close everything, just open Prepare 3D. Two things you need to do, and by the way, you can select any planes, any weather, I selected the Muni Bravo. It was the first one that I saw, and the first scenery. It doesn't matter because this is only for pre-preparation. So two things you need to do. The first one, right click and go to view group and make sure the Immersive Calibration Pro is ticked. Sometimes if it's not ticked, it will be on none. Now just make sure that this is ticked. That's the first thing to do. The second thing is where I think it scares most of people. Go to view manager and view group management. I'm not gonna spend too much time here, but the couple things. There are two configuration here that you see, display and view group. These are the one coming from, if I have still open, yes. So the view groups come from obviously these view groups, and the display, it comes from this display, not the small one but the big capital letter display. If you by any chance you change anything here, all the value, and you screw up something, then you can delete those files, the display files, restart Prepare 3D, and it will restart this exactly as it should be. So don't be too scared if something is not gonna work and your Prepare 3D start to crash and everything. In fact, when you change something with group management, it does affect Prepare 3D. Sometimes if you put something that's not correct, Prepare 3D crash, it doesn't open. So the best way to do it is to go back there, delete the display file completely, restart Prepare 3D, and it will recreate the display file. Same things for the view group. If you screw up big time, delete the view groups, copy and paste the one that I showed you before, and yours should be okay. But the second thing you need to do in Prepare 3D, let's remove the pause menu. Just to show you something, there are 4 output here on the configuration. This is because I have 2 graphic card. One is 0, start with the digit 0, and the other graphic card start with 1. So you know that the 0 is where my monitor PC is connected, and it's given an adapter index 1 and display 1. The other 3, which start for 1 0, 1 1, and 1 2, these are the projector, and sequentially it's given 2 2, 3 3, and 4 4. Machine ID will always be 1 because it's connected to one machine, I suppose. Now you don't need to change anything, although you can change the value here. Do not change anything. This is what Prepare 3D and the computer are assigned for each of the projector, the monitor, your display D. So do not change anything. I was only showing you what it looks like. You can close that one. The one that you need to focus in is Immersive Calibration Pod. This is created once you copy the view groups. If you don't see, it's because you didn't copy and paste. And you see the 3 projector, right? For each projector, you can see the views frustum. This is the one created by Calibration Pro. Again, you don't need to change anything here, otherwise it screw up everything. This is already being calculated for you. You don't need to do anything. What you need to change is associate for projector 1, 2, and 3 the correct display ID. Now technically you will think the projector 1 goes to projector 1, projector 2 to projector 2, projector 3 projector 3, but that's not always the case. It may be completely different. For me, for example, the way it works is projector 1 is connected to display 3, 2 is connected to 1, and 3 is connected to 2. How do I know that? How do I find this configuration? Completely trial and error. I know that there must be a logic. The manual of the Display Pro doesn't tell you how to calculate. It only says that make sure that the display ID correspond to the correct projector, otherwise it will not work. Thank you very much. But how do I know what the display to? I think it's something to do with the way you set up your projector number, your display, but I spent hours trying to figure out the logic, and I found out the easy way in this case. I mean, it's only 3 variable, and how, you know, if if 1 2 3 doesn't work, let's try 2 3 4, let's try 3 2 4, and so forth. Sooner or later it's only 2 to the third, so you have 8 combination, and you try all of them and it should work. So I think it should not be too difficult. It's actually, yes. I will suggest you to start with a simple start 1 2 and 3 and see how it works. If it doesn't work for you, then change 2 3 and 4. The way you change is when you look at your projector, your screen, your 4-meter screen, you will see, for example, if you see the left and the right view are correct but the center is not correct, you know that the center is projector 2. So all you need to do is to change display 2. If, for example, you see that the left and right are swap, then obviously it means that this one and this one should be swapped. So you put number 2 on projector 1, number 3 on projector 3. So it's trial and error. Once you find the correct combination, for me, for example, this is the correct combination, and I took a screenshot. So if in the future I need to come back, I know exactly that it should be, the sequence should be 3, 1 and 2. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna now put any different number, and I'm gonna press OK, and I'm gonna show you why I'm putting different number. I'm purposely screwing up my projection because I want to show you how it looks like and how you can troubleshoot. Because if I press OK now and I start my simulator and everything looks good. So I want to show you, I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, and then we'll see what happens. Okay. But there is something else that we need to do first before starting up the simulator and everything else. So once you select your value, like screw up, what happened? So let's just put something like things like that. Then what you do is to press OK, and then once you do that, you can exit. See, it's already changing. Don't worry if this one shows. Sometimes it shows, it said that the graphic memory is running out. That's like BS, because my graphic memory can handle even Flight Simulator 2020 to the maximum game. This is what it means. If I press OK, it's gonna crash. And I told you, because sometimes when you play with your group and you change something, it's gonna crash a little bit. So that's the problem that you're gonna have. So don't worry about that, just press OK. You know that it's gonna crash, let it crash. When you start Prepare 3D, it will work again. Okay, it's a bug of the software, I believe. Okay, we crash, but anyway, it's good that we crash, because I gotta show you something. Once you change that, now you go into Immersive Display Pro. So this is how you're gonna start the things. You open Immersive Display Pro. Okay, it's already active. Okay, the Immersive Display Pro, it will show you the 4 display. Remember that the first one for me is the PC monitor, so I don't care about this. I'm only focused on these 3. So you right click on the first one, and you need to what is it, you need to click external calibration. And remember those 3 that let you copy in warp. So let's go there, see, we go to warp config. Okay, so for projector 1 we are gonna give a multi-projector 1. Projector 2, we're gonna give multi-projector 2. Projector 3, we're gonna give external calibration multi-projector 3. So basically we are saying the calibration 1 goes to projector 1, 2 and 3, so forth. Another things I will suggest you to do, when you left click, is not right click, but it's left click on the mouse, you see something here called pin from GPU connector. Right now it says unpin because I already pinned. Please click that one. So each projector will be pinned to the GPU connector of your graphic card. What it means is that in the future, if for example you have to move your PC to another area, another room, you disconnect the cable and you reconnect the cable without remember which one was connected to where, if you pin, this will remember and will automatically assign the new GPU to the new projector, so you don't have to redo this again. If you don't pin to the GPU connector, every time you disconnect a cable and connect some other output of graphic card, it will ask you to redo the external calibration, and it may screw up your entire calibration. So remember to pin GPU connector. You need to do 1 per each. Okay, so now for example, if I take this cable here and connect it to this one, and this one connected to this one, it's not gonna change anything because they already pin and they are gonna automatically assign their ID machine completely automatically. Okay, so this one minimize. So when you start your calibration, this one needs to be run. Okay, no, not the Calibration Pro, but the Display Pro needs to run. Remember to have desktop warping disable, Windows warping enable, I do know that you have NVIDIA native warping or 80, but don't use that. I tried, it doesn't work very much. Just use Windows warping. So keep that one there. Once this is completed, then you can minimize. Remember, this needs to run throughout the entire simulation. If you close this, the warp is not going to work, so you can minimize. Once you minimize, then you start Prepare 3D, and I'll show you what happened next.
All right, so we are the three projectors are now turned on top of making sure that the center is the main display, because it's either when you are in the copy simulator you can choose. Make sure also to the three projectors are in extend mode. So if you do Windows, you press the Windows button with the P on the keyboard, you can select extend or duplicate. Make sure there is extend. It does automatically when you turn on the projector, but just to make sure that you are not doing anything, you're not missing any steps. So the first thing now you need to do is to open the Display Pro. Now this is the one that needs to be running if you want the warping now. And you can see there. So you can see my mouse. I make my mouse quite big and blue, so I can see what I'm doing now. So this one, it just need to be on. You don't have to do anything, so you can actually minimize once it's on. The next step is to turn on the Prepare 3D. So we go Prepare 3D and we just select. I'm gonna move the camera so you can see exactly. Okay, all the three projector becomes black. Alright, so one thing that I notice is, let me remove the camera for a second. It's actually showing on my screen here. So there's one thing that you need to play. I made it before, I made in a way that it was showing on the main display. I think you need to, I need to adjust something, but for the moment being, you can play with the computer. So what I have, I already have select myself let me see the mouse. So I already select myself a scenario. The scenario is ProSim airplane and to the gate in Brindisi. So usually what I need to do, what I do when I start my simulator is just do OK, and it will automatically calculate. However, I can tell you that this is not gonna work. There is something not gonna work, and I'll tell you why. When the warping is working, you will see two black line over here and here. So that tells me that this is not warping correctly. But don't exit yet. What we're gonna do, we're gonna correct that directly from Prepare 3D. So I'm gonna press OK. I'm gonna let it run, and I'll see you soon. Alright, so the Prepare 3D turned on, and I want to show you something, guys. So first of all, we have one screen on the desktop there, and then we have one projector that is, it looks like is correct view is the left side. The other projector is showing the right side. So that tells me that these two projectors are okay, I don't need to change it. However, the center projector is not showing anything. It looks like it's off, but it's not off. There is something peculiar that's happening. What's happening is that because of some mistake that I did in the ID setup and everything like that, perhaps I gave the wrong ID port. The signal is going to the desktop instead of the projector. So what I need to do is to go into view groups and give the correct ID port on the projector, so everything go back to normal. Let's move ourselves to our screen. Okay, because I have to move back and forth, the fast way for me is to record directly from the camera. Sorry about that. I'll try to make sure that you can see correctly what I'm doing now. So what I'm gonna do, first of all, obviously right click, I'm making sure the Immersive Calibration Pro is connected. Yeah, I mean, no, it's connected, but it's active. Yes, so that's nothing to do. So all we need to do is to go into view management, and let's see what's happening there. Okay, let's open view management group. Now it's not showing here, it's probably showing on the projector here, and there we go, as expected. It's a little bit of playing around, but let me tell you, only this is done only once you do it, you don't have to do it all the time. In fact, I don't have to do this every time I start my simulator. So let's go into here so we can see. First of all, let's make sure that the configuration didn't change. So we got 1.1, 2.2, 3.3, and 4.4. Now again, we don't touch this, okay? Don't touch that. What you want to look at is this. So projector 1 is 2, and we know that that's correct. And projector 3 is 4, and we know that that's correct. So projector 2 is the one that we need to change. So at the moment it's 3. So let's give it a 1 and let's see what happens. So basically what I'm trying to say is that we're gonna swap this with the one on the desktop, okay? And then you press OK. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Okay, so now funny things happen. We have basically this one and this one that are not corresponding each other, and this one is off. So again, it's not working. So what we do, we go back and we figure out what's going on. So you can pretty much understand what's happening. So this is actually the right side. So this is what should show as a right side, and that's the right side. Now this one to me so this one is the left side, and that one to me looks like the front side, because this one go there and this one is the continuation of that. So I think I know what's happening. Let's go back and figure out what's going on. So it's a trial. I'm sure there is a logic, but I try to go by logic, and the logic sometimes doesn't work, because as I mentioned, when you try to go by logic, it does work, but sometimes the computer, you turn off, you turn on again, and something changes in Windows and the things don't work as expected. So the best way to do it is to find what the correct configuration is. Take a screenshot or a video of what you've done, and then you will everything will work. Now luckily I did take the screenshot of myself, and I'm gonna check what the configuration was. I'm gonna put it exactly as it was, and then I'll show you what the configuration was and why it's working. So let me get my screenshot of what I've done before, because what I'm doing right now to show you, I've done it before, and I spent about 10 minutes until you find the configuration. If you think about it, if you guys are into electronic a little bit, let's go back. So if you think about it, we only have 3 projectors, right? And we know that we have to play with 2, 3, and 4. Those are the idea, because 1 I don't think is correct. So if you look this from a binary point of view, 000, 001, 010, so you only have a certain number of 2 to the third combination, so 8 combination total. So you can
have 8 combination maximum to see what the correct combination is. Once you find that, you find the correct combination, you take a screenshot, and you don't change this anymore. So every time the Prepare 3D starts, it's always the same, you don't touch it, and everything works. Now I'm gonna take my phone and see what the combination was, and I'll come back to you. Alright guys, so we found the correct combination. Luckily I had a screenshot of my combination. So we have the desktop main PC. You can see the main central part of the runway, and here it's all obviously now warped because I found the correct calibration. Let me show you what the final calibration, the final configuration was. Sorry, I'm mixing all words and stuff like that. It's been a long day, guys. As you know, what is my mouse? As you know, it's been a long day. You can see it's dark outside. I started this when it was still light. Hopefully it's been useful for you guys. So what my combination is the following. If I found the mouse, there you go. Okay, so again, nothing changed on the configuration side. We still have 111, 221, 331, 441. Now on the view groups, the correct combination for me was Projector 1, we had number 3, display ID. Projector 2, we had display 1. Now it's quite strange because the 1 is actually associated to the desktop, but the idea is that even if this is associated to the desktop, the image of the runway showing on desktop, I wanted to be projected to Projector 2, which is the center projector. And Projector 3, we have number 2. So the number 4 is not used. So once I select that, everything go back to normal, and I think Prepare 3D crashed. Yeah, I think it's gonna crash. It should come out straight away. Okay, something to do. So guys, if you see something like that, your dedicated graphic memory is running out, blah 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 blah, you're gonna press OK and it's gonna crash, but all you need to do is to start the Prepare 3D again, which is okay because I want to show you something about that. And I press again, it's gonna crash. Okay. Oh no, it didn't. Okay. Strangely enough, usually it does crash. And don't worry about the message because my graphic card, oh echo, okay, sorry. I thought there was something strange. It did crash. Now anyway, what I was saying is that the comment there about the graphic running low, it's Prepare 3D. It's nothing to do with your computer. I have more than enough to run this Flight Simulator 2020 at full speed, at full graphic. So Prepare 3D should not be any problem. However, it's good that they crash because I want to show you something. Sorry, back and forth. So the Immersive Pro is still running. You don't have to click again. It's already running. Make sure they run. Now I want to show you what it looks like when you have the correct warping. And by the way, this problem about the crashing only happened because we are playing with display D. Once you select the correct one, it's not going to give you any more problem. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. Do you see now? What is the mouse? Let me find the mouse so I can show you. Just a second. Okay. So you can see here there is this black line here and there is another black line there. And the airplane is actually a little bit bent. This one tells you that you are in a correct warping mode. If you don't see this, it means that you are not warping, so you need to prepare. So once you do that,
you press OK. I already have my scenery. My scenery is basically ProSim 737-800, park with cold and dark cockpit at Brindisi Airport at gate number 2. So the idea is that it starts like that, so I don't have to always select the plane, everything. It's already set, the scenario is already selected, and then from the ProSim utility on my tablet over there, I can select the airport, the startup and everything. So let me show you once it loads how it's gonna look like. Okay, so it should be finished loading. Okay, so this is how it's gonna appear on the gate number 2. It doesn't look very nice. It's prepared 3D. I don't even have OBS at the moment installed, and going around you can see everything is worked. I'm gonna turn off the light because I want to show you one final things before the end of this tutorial. Guys, do you remember the time they spent in checking the gamma, the correction, the contrast, and when I had the sunset, the panorama effect, it all looked good? And I told you that sometimes you do everything perfect, and when you turn on the simulator, it's nothing like perfect. And this is one of the examples. Look at the difference between the line here. So first of all, you see dark shade there, but when you go far away, it's hard to see. But look there, this is quite, the contrast is quite high. And when you look at this side, you can see there is like a little bit like something covered, a little bit foggy or something, darker. And the same over here. Look the contrast, it goes, look at the sky. It goes from quite nice color to a little bit darker. It seems like the brightness has been going down. Again, when you did the panorama, it was perfect. I didn't see this difference, and now I'm seeing this difference. So what I do, there are a couple of things you can do. Go back to your calibration and play around with the color, export the files, and do the rest as I told you, as I showed you so far. But it's a little bit pain, because once you do that, you don't want to touch really the calibration. The only things left to do is to actually go into the each projector and try to adjust the gamma correction, the contrast directly until you have a correct view. In fact, the best things to do is to test that directly when the simulator is loading, because with the panorama is fake. It's better to have the simulator running and then you can test. So the only things left to do is to adjust the color so you have a similar color the same. You don't have any difference. Looking at from inside the plane, now obviously it's cold and dark, but it's not really bad. I mean, even like this, you are not gonna see much difference in color. Actually, I'll tell you what, guys, it's not that bad. I mean, I can see when the first projector stop and the central projector stop and the third one. But in terms of like when you fly, you're not gonna see much difference. So probably I'm gonna do a test flight, see how it feels. Because one thing is to be outside near the source of light. One thing is to go inside the cockpit and have a look. Nice 4K. Wait until Flight Simulator 2020 allow to do this type of view groups, type of things, and then we are ready to rock and roll. So we got, I'm gonna zoom in now, we got a couple of planes over there. Anyway, doesn't look that bad actually. I gotta tell you, it's probably, I never got it this bad, I mean this good or bad, it depends on the way you look at it. But I did do some flight test and it was not as good as this, to be honest. It was much darker. The contrast between the two was much worse.
so this is not bad. Okay, so we've done it. Now when you fly, on top of seeing this is also gonna be active, so you're gonna see here. And if you have if you put this monitor somewhere else, what it means is that when you lock the door in the cockpit and you're flying, people outside, they can see exactly where you're flying. You can even change the plane. This is ProSim and so forth. And now the reason why the motor is running actually is because ProSim is off. So this is not controlled by ProSim at the moment. You need to turn on ProSim, then ProSim will turn off will communicate and everything's fine. Okay, so that's all from me, guys. Hopefully I'm gonna give you one final tip before saying goodbye to you. Right guys, so we finished this tutorial step by step. Hopefully this was very good. I'm sorry if I was at one point going from one section to another one. Sometimes it's really easy to do it. Once you get the gist of it, it takes no more than an hour to do everything. But having two computers, the software, the camera, I have to go back and forth. I'm actually doing this video alone now. So hopefully this was very helpful. If you need any question, if you have any question about certain things that you didn't understand how I did it, please let me know. I can probably describe in more details in a chat room or in something, or send me an email. I will probably start sending you guys some contact details, because I notice a lot of people contact me through WhatsApp, or maybe that's not the best way to do it. Maybe I will have some emails. End of the day, Alpha Simulation is a business. We are gonna be opening soon the door because this is actually gonna be used also for the public. I'm just waiting for the final part to arrive from Portugal, and then I need to install the printer, I need to install a couple of things, the communication, and then we are ready. So a lot of things to do. Anyway, hopefully this was really helpful. One tip, I know that there must be a logic behind the ID display port and the way you put display number 1, 2 or 3 and 4. I know that it's got to be a logic. However, my view, don't waste any more time. Go by trial and error. Select 1, 2 and 3. If it doesn't work, select 1, 4 and 3, 1, 2 and 4, 4, 3, 2. Once you find the correct combination, take a screenshot, write it down somewhere, keep it to yourself, because it's not gonna change again. And by the way, when I turn on the simulator, it's really like 2 minutes. You turn on the computer, you turn on the projector, you turn on the display Pro, Immersive Display Pro, you select main display for the projector and open the proper 3D. Automatically it showed me the gate 2, the ProSim and everything else, and what's left to do is just to turn on the simulator and fly. So really from 0 to ready to start a flight, it takes less than 5 minutes. From myself, thank you very much. Sorry about the long video, but hopefully this was helpful. Again, stay tuned for the next video. It's gonna be a little bit more exciting than this and less long, much shorter. Thank you, ciao, alla prossima.